Hello, hello, what is going on, friends in YouTube land? Phoenix61 here with another World of Warships Legends video. We are rocking the Tulin, right? Toulon, something, this French ship, right? So, this is the newish, cruiser line from the French, and I am still working on this first one. It starts at tier 6, right? Because they're kind of bad. I'm not a big fan of the Tulin, right? It's a little bit of a challenging ship to play. So yeah, you guys know if you watch my channel regularly, you know the big gripe here, like you get these two big turrets in the front, which on battleships, turrets like this for the French battleships, like these, they hit pretty hard, like they can be pretty good, but these just don't. Like they're just for how long it takes them to reload. And for how hard they hit, I think that there's some balancing changes that need to be done still. I think this new cruiser line has even got a little bit of a buff recently. I don't know if the Tulin was included in that though. They might have left the tier 6 alone. And like part of me is okay with some of the along the way ships being bad. If you're trying to unlock tech tree ships, having to play through and live along that struggle bus that is that tier, while you try to unlock the next one, I can be okay with that, because then at least I'm working towards something, I feel like I can unlock the next one, and if it's really bad, I can spend some global XP to, progress quicker, right? But, but you know how I feel about global XP. I try not to spend it. I try to save it for buying ships, right? Originally I was going to go and duck behind cover, that island in the middle, but sometimes it's just, you don't have the luck there, and then there's no destroyers to spot in this game. So, you can see it's mostly cruisers, so I was actually kind of excited for this game. I was like, all right, you know what, maybe we get a chance to shine here, right? Like some cruiser on cruiser action, but as you can see, it is taking forever. I think, with games like this where you don't have destroyers, a lot of times I think battleship players, your standard average battleship player, sort of still suspects the cruisers to do the spotting, which, sometimes it's okay, but, in reality, a lot of cruisers, if they get spotted and they're, you've got bad angling to battleships, you just die quick, right? So a lot of cruiser players don't want to do the spotting either, right? So you get this long haul of before somebody finally makes a stupid move and starts the spotting action, right? But we do get a good hit there right off the bat, right? And it was just the perfect scenario, a standing still cruiser that was broadside, right? Which, if this was a battleship, we might have gotten a devastating strike on him, right? We might have just completely eliminated that Charles Martel from the map. But, nope, not the case here. 5 hits only gave us 11,000 damage, right? So, we're going to see if we can't finish him off. He is moving now. That does get us spotted by this Italian battleship, which is not going to go well for us if he decides to turn this way and fire at us. So I'm going to take advantage of the fact that he's firing at the other cruiser and head towards some cover here, see if we can't get behind some land to kind of shield and shelter us from him, because he would be one to take us out pretty quickly, right? And yeah, you can see his rear turrets are looking this way now. I did make the switch to HE shells after taking that shot. We did get a decent chunk of damage there, right? And then, yeah, he takes a shot at us. Luckily, we were angled pretty well, and he fired kind of low. He aimed for the hull. So we saved ourselves a little bit there. And then this is definitely a bit of an aggressive move. I think I kind of got away with, this here. But yeah, so we see the Plymouth out there, and he's going to sit in a smoke screen. And so, yeah, we're going to be in this unfortunate situation. I think there might be 2 cruisers. Unless that smoke from before was also, from that Plymouth moving and he just wasn't spotted yet. And then, yep, we know he's got torpedoes, so we triggered our sonar. So there we go, and we can see those torpedoes early. And then, yep, we're just moving, keeping somewhat bow in, but also angled as well, is helping us out here with taking hits. And then luckily my teammates behind me also teamed up on that battleship since he was low on health, right? So now we're not spotted at all because that cruiser's in his smoke. So we can't see him, he can't see us. I'm going to keep pressing in, right? If I get close enough, we'll pick him up with sonar. Either that or his smoke screen's going to die out, right? But I'm kind of hoping he remains somewhat broadside, and then we can take a good shot at him here. I got distracted by something in real life and didn't point towards him right away. And yeah, like that's what I'm talking about, where I'm like, man, like this ship should be hitting harder, and we get those overpens, right? And then the secondary batteries aren't great at all. Like, you know, like there's these two big turrets on the back for secondaries, and I'm like kind of mad that they are kind of useless, right? Like they almost look like they're big enough to be main battery turrets, like on any other cruiser, right? And they're just not great, right? But we do manage to finish him off. So 2 citadels in one game with the Toulon, I think, is pretty impressive, right? And then we will go in and put the pressure on their zone. Plugged in my controller. But this is going to force, you know, the enemy team to come back towards us. And of course, if they don't, then we'll get the zone capture, right? Helena is looking a little weak, so we will wait the 10 minutes for our gun turrets to turn. And we get a Mayoko that looks like he might be AFK, so here is how you win games with the Tulin, right? Just play a whole bunch until you finally get in games where there's AFK players, right? I mean, that's about where they would spawn, right? But then I think he starts moving here right as we started taking shots off at him. And then my other thought here too was like, if he really is AFK, like why shoot him, right? He's not going to shoot back. So we'll see if we can't finish off the Helena. But then, yeah, that's going to give somebody else on my team an easy kill, right? So there he goes. We finish off the Helena. That was the harder target, right? He was actually moving. I'm kind of thinking, like, you know, if this Kansas keeps coming, I'm going to ram him. Like, that's how I'm going to get some... That's how I'm going to put some damage on the board. So we'll take one more shot with the AP rounds here, since that's what we're loading. Then typically I'll switch to HE for something like this, right? See if we can't trigger a fire. Then maybe he puts it out, and then if we don't survive the ram, right, maybe he'll flood. Right? That's my thinking at the moment. Alright, we'll damage con the fire since there's not much left in this game. He is very much so on fire himself. Looks like he's gonna die before we even get to him, right? And then Anchorage. Of course, now we have 2 fires, right? But it's really not a big deal. The game, alas, has been won, right? This would be a nice AP shot, but since the reload is forever... And then Anchorage does have torpedoes, so I do trigger our sonar as well. And we'll switch to AP after firing the HE shot. Literally everyone in the game that's still alive is shooting at him. There's the torpedoes we were worried about. Those were way off. And we'll see what the leaderboard looks like. That was sort of a quickie for today, but I'm always like, you know what? If I have a good Tulin game, you gotta put it out there, because those are few and far between, right? 2100 XP puts us at the top of the leaderboard with 3 kills as well. I think I might be getting close to having the next ship unlocked here, so we'll have to play Definitely have to play some games with that. And 300 grand in silver, we'll take that, right? I did have a common credit booster on there, though, in my defense, right? So, Andre Rux, or Rowe, or however you say this, right? So, and then we're using Norman Scott for shell grouping for an inspiration. Yeah, and then AP shell pen multiplier. Chance of HE bombs causing fire. I think I'm going to go, it's AP shell penetration multiplier might be a good choice too here. It's just like the guns just kind of are so underwhelming for what they are. It's like, does this even matter, right? So I went with speed and rudder shift. I'm not a huge fan of the other perk there since it picks up torpedoes sooner, right? Since you have sonar, it's kind of like, I feel like that's a little bit of a wasted spot, right? So, and then fully packed for cruisers, that is my go-to, but, you do you. There are some scenarios where it's, some of the other choices for legendary perks are probably better, right? But, yeah. But that is our Toulon video. I should just stop saying the name because I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. But I appreciate you guys watching me all the way through. Thank you very much. And make sure you are subscribed and following the channel and all that other fun BS that everybody says. I am still kind of a smaller channel. So I do notice every time every time I gain one. And thus, I also notice every time I lose one, too. But thank you guys for following. We're doing more of the Warships videos every day, so we'll see you guys tomorrow.